Hi, hello, and welcome back to the streams. It feels like this week I have not been able to have a singular moment of peace. However, here we are. Hopefully, you guys are doing well at the very least. And I'm gonna try to wait to see if more of y'all. Oh, wow, shit. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello. A lot of y'all. I didn't think it said there was one of y'all in the chat, but then a bunch of you just showed up out of nowhere. How have you guys been? Obviously there has been a lot of there's been a lot of updates over this last week, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but also I kind of just wanted to unwind the week with you guys because we didn't get to stream last week, which kind of sucked, and this week has just been a clusterfuck, to say the least. Odd Local, hey, and Penguin, hopefully you guys are doing great. And for those of you that are new here, there is the Discord server if you guys want to join that and keep updated with all of us after the streams. But also, just concerning content and things. Yeah, for real though, there's never a dull moment in this life because Garfield, to start, Garfield's been a menace. He's over there and he's asleep for now. So hopefully he will chill for the remainder of this stream. But obviously, most of you guys know that the main channel, as of right now, is terminated. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought the whole channel, whenever y'all in the Discord were telling me, like, hey, it says terminated. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, like, instead of it just being terminated for, like, a guideline or something, I thought it was just gone. And I may have crashed out a little bit, just like a smidgen. So I figured we could chill, talk about that, because I created a second channel last night because I originally was gonna wait to see what happened with the main one, but I'm like, you know what? No, we're not doing that. We're not letting anybody slow us down, right? So I created the second channel, uploaded a full kind of explanation for everything. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it's called Branny 2, not Branny 2, but Branny TOO, because creative. Yeah, no pet redeems. Maybe closer when it's time for me to go get Tom. Because I gotta leave to get him around like 4:40, which is in about like an hour-ish or so. So maybe more toward then, because I wish I could just wait. No. I was gonna say maybe I could point the camera over so y'all could see him, but like he's just being a little baby. He's just being a little baby. But to be entirely honest with y'all, like, I had a lot of plans because especially Pride Month is in, oh my god, I can't count, like 3 days. Pride Month is in 3 days. And I wasn't planning on doing anything like that first day of June because I was trying to work with Stream for a Cause. And I didn't know when I was going to do things, so I hadn't given them a definitive date yet, and thank God for that. Thank God for that. Because I had an idea that we would play, like, Date Everything, and I would probably stream it and then upload it to, maybe, like, I was gonna upload it to the main channel at the time, but now, since I don't know how long it's gonna take to get the channel back, because I have to appeal with Google to get the Google account back, and then I have to appeal with YouTube where the account got terminated, so it's really just a matter of how quick they want to get to me. And I had videos scheduled for there, and this is something that I had mentioned in the update video over on the second channel. I had a few videos scheduled, and now, to be entirely honest with you, like, I had them scheduled for the channel as well as on Patreon, and now I don't know if, like, should I wait to release those? Like, I don't know what to do. I kind of wanted to get your guys' input on things because I know that, like, I had an idea for what I wanted to do with the second channel, given that we get the main one back, but I don't know. It's kind of a waiting game, and it's really up in the air, and I don't know how to feel about that, because sitting and waiting is probably one of the worst things ever for my brain, because whenever I don't have, like, any communication of what the hell is going on, I'm like, oh no. But probably better waiting to see what's gonna happen with the channel. Yeah, I think if it takes longer than a week, post them to the second channel. And yeah, and I very well could, because I think it was like 3. One of them being about James Charles, which it isn't what y'all think it is. It's not like a typical, like, oh, this creator, da, da, da. No, like, I had a lot to say about that, and I thought it would be a good conversation, but, oh, say so, how are you? Hopefully you are doing well. Haven't seen you in a stream here for a hot minute. Because and as I said the last time we streamed, I have missed streams so much, and, like, I'm glad that we're back to doing it again. And speaking of just this microphone flashing, we got a new microphone. We got a new microphone. So that is all funky, fresh, and fun. So if there's anything wrong with the audio in terms of, like, how quiet or loud it is, please let me know so I can fix it, because I've been kind of, like, piddling with settings a little bit, and my camera, look, I'm gonna start off by, like, and please tell me about the events of your guys' week, so I'm not alone in my bitching, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. No, because I hate the feeling of just constantly being busy and not having a moment to kind of just chill and, like, sit for yourself. That's the absolute, like, worst thing ever. So hopefully you get a wee bit more free time so you can just kind of chill and do what you want to. Because this week, it has been so weird, because last weekend, for those of you who are in the server, you guys already know this, but long story short, our hood hit our windshield, and our windshield shattered. So on Tuesday, we couldn't do anything on Monday, where it was a holiday, so Tuesday, we got that fixed. And then every single day after that, it feels as though there's just been, like, one weird thing that keeps happening, and I don't know. I don't know what is in the air. I think I gotta sage myself. Oh, Garfield Pets. Who the heck is Garfield? First of all, welcome to the chat. I hope you're doing awesome. Garfield is not my car. Oh my god. Hold on. I gotta get my son. Wait just a second. Garfield, the people have summoned you, buddy. Hold on. I know. I'm sorry. He's so pissed. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Hold on. Garfield, meow meow. See, this is Garfield. This is my son. Oh, you yay. I'm glad that you love cats, because he is just, Garfield is the life of the party. He's so big. Hold on, look. He's so big. Because, and believe it or not, Garfield is so grumpy. I know, like, he's been sleeping all day, because for those of you that don't know Garfield, he is 12 years old. He's a little old man, and all he wants to do is nap, and I'm surprised he's actually chilling. I'm surprised he's chilling. That be so for real. I love my son. But he is so grouchy all the time, and he's so ornery. He don't look ornery. He says no. He says no. Oh, yeah. Look, you should have seen him whenever he was a little kitten, because me and Tom, my fiance, since you're new here, we took him from my mom's, right? And whenever he was a kitten, he originally was an outside cat. And for some reason, anytime that you would try to, like, go back in the house, he would just latch on. I can't speak. He would latch onto your ankles and just be a menace. And a lot of times he is a menace, but now that he's an old man, like, it's not as extreme, except for, like, the one morning, I don't even know if I told you all about this. There was one morning that we had, like, he was outside of our bedroom and our bedroom door was shut, and for some fucking reason, I hear something outside. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I'm half asleep, right? So I didn't really think too much of it. Next thing you know, there is a mouse that is slid underneath of our bedroom door. Like that crack over there? Yeah. Jolly good. No, he seriously should. He seriously should have an ankle monitor at this point. Like, he's a danger. Aren't you, buddy? Oh, I know. Hold on. Okay, there we go. He's like, Mom, I'm over this. Be so for real. Oh, damn. I didn't even think about that. That's nuts. Look, because Garfield, he is a seasoned, but Garfield, are you for real? Hold on, y'all. I gotta let him out. And I guarantee you he's gonna want back here in like 3 seconds. But like, come on, son. Okay. We're back. Put me down, mother. That's what he, believe it or not, he's just a baby, and typically, like, he wants held. Like, if I feed him and I water him and he has every single thing that he needs, right? And he keeps bitching. I'm like, what the hell do you want? I just pick him up and I cuddle him and then he's fine. And then he is fine. I don't know. He's a very ornery feller. I'm glad to have him nonetheless, though, because he's a joy. Like, at this point in life, there are a lot of people that, like, I went to school with that have, like, kids, and, like, I gotta think. There's one girl I went to school with, and she has a couple of, like, not older, but, like, school-age kids, and where I don't have any. Garfield, he's like my own little baby. You know what I mean? Oh, you do art full time. If you don't mind me asking, what type of like art do you do? What is your preferred medium? Like, as someone that does art myself, I'm interested. And he is my child. At this point, it feels like with the things that he does and the habits that he has, it feels like I birthed him, basically. Okay, so I was 5. No, be so for real. Because the last time, before we streamed again, the first time this year, I had seen on Twitch, it said that I hadn't streamed in almost 2 years, bro. It was insane. So that was so long ago. That was so long ago. Sorry. Also, y'all, if that fan is entirely too loud, please let me know and I'll shut it off. It's just, it feels like it's a bajillion degrees in here. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. What am I on about? What am I on about? Look, the ADHD is ADHD-ing. Like, not to be that person, but we literally just spoke. I didn't recognize the username for a second. That's embarrassing. Pretend that I recognized it, because I should have. Hey, Liz, XD. Okay, look, just because you used it in a chat, I'm gonna go on like a tangent for a second and tell me if y'all have the same sentiment or not. I miss so much when XD and stupid shit like that was the norm. I miss it so much. The amount of times that I've been told, "Hey, bitch, you're cringy because you're using XD." Like, I don't care. It's full of whimsy. It's full of whimsy. No, and for real though. For real though. The amount of times we'll be on stream, and it's so funny because, like, this isn't relevant at all, but, like, just for context, I'm medicated, okay? That's the funniest part of this whole thing, and the amount of times we'll be playing Minecraft, and I'll be like, what was I doing? What was I saying? I don't know. Like, that's just kind of, it's a feature. It's a feature of the streams at this point. Listen, as I said, those are some of my favorite ones, because I feel like whenever people weren't as afraid to be like cringe on the internet, I feel like life was a little bit better. It was a little bit lighter. Like, I don't want to say it was better, because to some extent there are always going to be shitty things in life, okay? However, like, I feel that the concept of cringe culture has ruined so much, and if I could just take the term cringe and just, like, eradicate it and throw it into the aether, I would. But to be cringe is to be free, not for real, though. And it does give a bit of tone. It does. Hold on, emojis are the best, not gonna lie. Memojis are just really funny if you're texting. I have mixed emotions on emojis, and I think, just hear me out, because when I tried to say when and while at the same time, when I was in middle school, I constantly used emojis, like the laughing emoji, the hard eyes emoji. Like, it was that point in life where there was emoji merch for some reason. I had 2 emoji pillows, literally the laughing emoji and the hard eyes emoji. And whenever I think back to my middle school self, like, I love her, but she did a lot of shit that, like, older me would not do today. So whenever I personally go to use emojis, like, I use the crying emoji and the skull emoji. That is pert near about it. And I think, like, my aversion, like, I hate using them. Like, I don't necessarily mind when other people use them, but me, myself, it's like, oh, I can't do it. And I think it's because I associate it with, like, that old version of myself. I think we're bringing cringe back. I fucking hope so. I hope so. Because, like, cringe, you know, like, I hate the term and what it implies about, like, hobbies and things and people, but, you know, at the same time, like, there is a lot of personality within cringe, and I feel that, like, in an effort to try not to be cringe or to be embarrassing, people have kind of, like, dampened and flattened their personalities a little bit. So, like, if we could just bring that sense of personality and whimsy back to the internet, I would not be mad about that. Not even a little bit. Cringe is what unhappy people seem to call it when other people are having silly fun out in public, like who genuinely cares if someone is being silly and whimsical. Exactly. The only time that I can see someone using the term cringe, and I kind of agree with it, I guess, it's never like someone is doing something, like expressing a hobby, you know, something like fun and whimsical, like you said. Like, I will never say, like, oh, that person's being cringy, because, like, that's unnecessary hater energy, right? But if someone is doing something that's, like, hurting someone else, or, like, they're just being a dick or whatever, saying that's cringe, that's fine. That's okay with me. But, like, that's about, like, it should be used, in my opinion, as, like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like, I want to say as an insult, but that's not exactly what I mean. Hopefully y'all understand what I meant by that. And the pillows were canon. I low-key wish I still had them, like, just for the meme, because I think that would be really funny. Hold on, they're just sigils. Wait, sigils? Are you talking about, like, XD? Because that would be so funny. Like, something that I've never talked about on the internet before is the fact that, like, I'm really interested in, like, in things in terms of, like, that, like, sigils and that type of thing. So, like, that would be funny. That would be funny. I use the laughing emoji ironically, like, if I say a pun and just whip out a quick, like, I don't know. Like, okay, the laughing emoji and the sideways laughing emoji, they give me two different vibes, right? And both of them I don't really like, but using it ironically, I guess, but not for me. But not for me. I respect the funny, though. I respect the whimsy. Hold on. When I type out a text emoji and it turns into an image emoji. Yes, like on Facebook, bro. Look, I don't get on Facebook because every single time I get on Facebook, within the first, like, scroll, right, I see something that pisses me off. Like, that's terrible, but it's true. Terrible, but it's true. So I hate doing it. But whenever, like, anytime that I've ever typed a post out on Facebook and I just want to type colon parentheses and then it goes to the emoji, it just pisses me off and I can't even do it. Bullying is cringe. Not exactly. Exactly. As a true insult. I agree. Because, like, I don't think, like, I hate, and just hear me out here, I hate the concept of, like, insulting people, like, just for the funny, you know what I mean? Like, if you think someone is being an asshole, but, like, it doesn't affect you and they're not truly hurting anybody, right? Like, I don't like to do that. But if someone, like, for example, I seen this TikTok a while ago, and it was this girl, and she was wait, why am I frozen? Hold up. Are we back? There we go. Ah, god damn it. Listen, I've had so many issues. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hoping. Praying. Oh my god. Okay, wait. Activate. Oh my god, are we good? We might be fine. Okay. Look, as I told you guys, this week has just been such a clusterfuck that I'm not surprised. I am not surprised in the slightest. Like, in my opinion, whenever some bad shit happens to you, that means that good things are coming. So take everything bad that's been going on and just look at it like it's a prepayment for good stuff. Aw. I love that. Genuinely, I love that. Thank you. It's been so rough. It's been so rough. But as I was saying, just before I forget, third time's the charm. there was this TikTok that I said, watch it freeze again. There was this TikTok that I had seen, and it was this girl talking about how her parents had like raised her and things that they would do. And whenever they were out in public, like if they seen something, as she described it, like a guy yelling at like his partner or whatever, her dad, oh my god, her dad would start like boo, like publicly booing, right? Just to show that like, hey, other people like are seeing what you're doing, and like, that matters. It affects other people. And like that shit, public shaming in that sense, I love that. And I think we should bring that back a little bit. But like just insulting people just to insult people for like their interests and shit, like that's lame. It's so lame. No, for real though, but like I respect it though. I respect it a little bit. It's like boo, brother, boo. Like I get it. I get it. Like, granted, that's ballsy though. Especially like if you live in a place around like where I do. Right. If you were to do, it's too crazy. Look, it's too crazy. You couldn't do that and not like risk getting your shit rocked, like, which is unfortunate. However, some risks are worth it. Yeah, public school energy for real. Like, I am so grateful. Like, I had transferred to this online school, like, right before COVID happened, because, like, I had this just hear me out, because this is gonna sound paranoid, like, because I was always paranoid at that point in my life, but I was just like, I feel like, I feel something in the air. I feel something brewing. And, like, I wanted to do online school anyway, so I had switched, and I'm so grateful that I did, because, like, public school was just, like, it was just not for me, bro. It was just not for me. I just feel like superstitious, oh my god, I can't speak, superstitious witch saying this to people sometimes. Nah, bro. I am the type of human being that, like, anything for whimsy, and granted, not everybody believes this or feels this way, and it's totally fine, but, I believe in things like karma, and I believe in, like, the significance of the universe, and, like, I think nature, a lot of it is, like, conscious and alive, and like, anything that it's like, hey, and kind of like showing that whimsiness, like I love that. I love that. Aw, hey Andy. Hopefully work is going well. I appreciate you popping in a whole lot. Oh, yay, I'm so glad it looks good. Because sometimes the quality, I'm always afraid it looks better on my end than it does on y'all's. I use a Sony A6400. And I think I figured out the issue with OBS and it buffering like that. I might be wrong, because it used to do that whenever it would overheat and whatnot. But I think I didn't have buffering disabled. I had it auto-enabled. Oh, twin! Where have you been? Oh my god. Okay. It's like, look, I had gotten it, like, I want to say a couple years ago, I got this camera because I had started doing, like, photography and videography and all that junk, and I'm like, I want to get a good camera, and I got it on sale, and it made me, I'm not gonna lie though, it made me want to vomit whenever I purchased it, because I hate buying shit for myself, if I'm just being so for real, but I'm really glad that I did though. Because the quality, and like granted this is 1080p, don't get me wrong, but a lot of videos on the main channel I was able to record in 4K and it just looked so crispy, so good. Like, I had tried to use certain webcams for like ever, and depending on like the vibe that you're going for, like if we want to pretend that we're back like in the old gameplay days, like that is perfect, moi. And especially like if you're in a crunch or whatever, like totally cool. But after a while, it's like the webcams that I would get, like it would be decent quality at first, and then over time it would just degrade, and it was so ass. Just so ass. Oh, hell yeah, for all the whimsy. Oh no, honestly, like, that's so strange. Your footage quality, I would have thought that it was on a camera, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't think it was bad at all. Because, I'll be so honest, I'll be so for real. Like, I've had some people and some, like, mutuals on social media ask me, like, hey, Branny, can you look at my channel, or, like, can you watch my video, whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, shawty bae. Chef's kiss, all right. Because whenever I first started making videos, my quality and everything, I'm just gonna be real, was absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. But there'll be sometimes, like, I think that the most important thing, in my personal opinion, like, yeah, visual quality matters, but if you have good audio, then you're good to go. But if you have, like, a 4K camera, but then shitty audio, like, I would much rather it be the other way around. And I might be weird for that. But that's just how I feel about the matter. I would get all of mine. I wonder, do you know the brand name of your webcam perchance? Because I'd had two before I got this camera, and I got them both from Amazon. For sure. And that's something, like, with the audio, that's something that, like, I struggled so much with, because my first, like, actual microphone, like, because I had just recorded on my iPhone for the longest time, and I did gameplay videos, so, like, I could talk about this sometime, because it's long and the tangent would take fucking forever, but I would have to film my face cam with my phone, and then film footage from my Xbox with a USB, and kind of put both of them together, and it was such a huge pain in the ass. But after that, my first microphone was, like, the Yeti Snowball, and I was like, oh, this is amazing, this is great, whatever. But then I eventually got the AM8, and now the AM8 Pro, and we're moving up. We are moving up in the world, for real. Oh my god, I just fucking got that one. How nuts is that? Emi had actually, like, and thank god, like, they had gifted me their webcam a little while ago. I have such, like, a bad time, like, keeping track of time is something that's so hard for me. So if I say something like, oh, this happened the other day, like, it could be any time from yesterday to, like, 3 years ago. But I got it this year? Question mark. I believe, yeah, because it's almost June. Half of the year is gone. I feel like there's been so much that's just happened, like, personally, but also externally, societally, globally, whatever. So much has happened this year that, like, this year has felt 3 years long, but also a week long all at once. It makes absolutely no sense. Are filmed on a GoPro, like, action camera, but I think I like the colors and how close the webcam is. Yeah, very true. Like, I had a GoPro way back in the day, whenever I was in middle school. I had never filmed any YouTube videos on it, though. That's one thing that sucks so bad about the main channel being terminated right now, because it has all my middle school videos on there. Like, they're private, but, like, it hurts for me. But, like, the point of me bringing that up, though, was I miss my GoPro so much, because there's been so many video ideas that I've had, like, taking y'all outside and shit, where I don't want to risk breaking my fucking camera, but, like, I just haven't. We don't got the like, if I try to be as frugal as I can, and, like, if I don't need to, like, consume something, I try my best not to. Oh, welcome back, Penguin. I didn't even see your message. I'm so sorry. Glad you're back, though. Hopefully the cats are doing well. Bro, that's a time capsule. It really is, though. It really is. I had seen a post on Facebook, I think it was a day or two ago. It was very recent, saying something about how it was like the 10-year anniversary or something. It might not have been the 10-year anniversary, but it was the same day that Harambe died. And I'm like, don't fucking remind me. That's when everything started to go down the shitter. Like, it's like one of those events, and, like, while you're playing a video game, and, like, everything is hunky-dory and fine, and then something weird happens that you don't think will affect anything, but then it does. That's what that whole thing felt like. And it's just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. I don't know why. I hate whenever I think back to, like, the time period of Harambe, though. The only thing, well, not the only thing, but the first thing that comes to my mind is Shane Dawson. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why, because I don't know either. I think it was just that time period in life where like everything felt like a meme. Like he was doing his food videos, and then Harambe, and then PewDiePie, like the good golden days of PewDiePie. Like it was a whole thing. But like I had seen some shit with PewDiePie recently. I don't know. I try my best to stay out of like internet drama anymore because it's too much for me. It is entirely too much for me, if I'm just being for real. Like with everything else that's happening just in the world, like I don't have the time or the energy to try to keep up. Aw, thank you so much. And thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully the rest of your day and your weekend is absolutely amazing. And to everyone who is here, Petra, actually has a YouTube channel as well and just uploaded a YouTube video not that long ago that was pretty fire. So be sure to go check that out because it was talking about kink talk. It's talking about kink talk, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. Like, I talked about corn addiction. I hate that I have to fucking censor myself and say that, but I talked about corn addiction in a recent video on the main channel, and that's like as far as I've gotten because, like, unfortunately, being a girl on the internet, like, you get some weird shit whenever you talk about anything like that. But you know, that conversation, in my opinion, it was worth having. So it was worth it at that point. Hold on, wait, what is going on? What? What is going on? Oh my god, wait, hold on. Getting our stuff hacked. Oh! Okay. Okay. Oh my god, I was so confused. For those of you that aren't in the Discord server, I was wondering why I kept getting notifications, and I'm like, oh my god! No, we're fine. We are fine. Is it frozen? On y'all's end again? Because, like, in my preview, it looks like it's frozen, so hopefully it's not. We can hope and pray, and hopefully chat might be... Seems good here. Okay, cool. Because I always... Sometimes, whenever we're streaming, like, on the preview end, like, it'll look fine, but then I'll, like, chat won't refresh or something, and it'll be fucked up, and I'm like, no! So, I'm just trying to... This is our... I gotta think. This is our third stream. Yeah, third stream back. So, like, we're still getting the hang of things, and eventually, like, the technical difficulties, I have a feeling that that will just always kind of be a staple of the channel and what the streams are, but like we'll get shit more streamlined eventually. But I kind of like, and just in my own personal opinion, I kind of like how casual shit is, you know, because like I don't know how to describe this without it sounding a certain kind of way, but like for me, thank you, I appreciate that. For me personally, like I can't. Like, things like scripting and, like, putting on an act or whatever, like, for certain channels and for certain content, like, that can, like, that's appropriate, you know? But, like, for me, I just can't do it. Like, it's just not who I am as a human. So, kind of having a space on live, especially, where, like, we can kind of just fuck up is just, it heals my heart. It heals my heart a little bit, for sure. Because I will say, I remember, for those of you that are, like, more recent to the channel, whenever we would stream in the past, it was before I got the PC here, because I had just streamed for shits and gigs every so often, and I would stream off of, I have it over there, it's the HP gaming laptop, and it would cut out all the time, bro. So just to be in a place where, like, it's not constantly cutting out unless there's some weird weather, like, I'm grateful for that, for sure. Yeah, you know, and I'm glad that, like, it feels that way for you, because that's how I always want it to be. I mean, whether it's live, whether it's YouTube, like, it doesn't really matter, because I personally feel that whenever we are expressing ourselves on the internet, whether it's, like, heavily produced or not, like, the edits don't matter, as long as it's something that, like, we want to do, and, like, it's true to us, like, that's what's most important to me, in my opinion. It's a one-way Skype sesh. That's how my brain perceives it. I don't know. I don't understand technology. What a mood. I mean, that kind of. It's like we're all on, like, don't take this in the parasocial way, but like it's kind of like we're all on a Skype call, except y'all have your cams off and you're muted, and like it's just me. It's like we're in school right now, low key. I had thought I wasn't going to tell you all this, but like just because like school came up, I had a thought. What if, and hear me out, for some videos, right? Imagine. I don't know how I would do this because like this space probably looks bigger than what it actually is to you guys on camera, but like could you imagine if there was like a whiteboard right here for some videos? I don't know why. I feel like that could be fun, just depending on the context of that. Ah, really? I mean, I guess that makes sense. Something that I hate, just speaking of like the whiteboard and like the presentation type thing, I had Google slide presentations that I was working on for deep dives. I had like 3 that are just gone right now. Hopefully, I don't mean to keep bitching because like I don't want to bring down the vibe, but like that just sucks so bad. Like, and that's why I'm hoping I'll keep y'all updated on everything with like the YouTube recovery, Google recovery, because I have to go through Google first and then through YouTube. So if anything, I'll update like the Discord and the Patreon over the weekend if there are any updates at all. Mute as in non-mic user online rather than fit. Yeah, I get you. I figured that's what you meant. They're trying to mess with you. Sometimes it feels like, look, I have to tell myself sometimes, and like I know logically in my mind I know that this is not true, but just because I am the type of girly that believes in karma and the significance of the universe and all that, it's like, what did I do? What did I do? But as Petra kind of phrased it, kind of seeing it as like, oh, good things are coming. You know, that really gave me a bit of like hope and some optimism. Like I needed that. How about Google Slides on a green screen instead of a whiteboard? Same vibes. Oh, well, the Google Slides, typically whenever I would do those ones, kind of like in the 1984 video, what I would do is I would place the camera at the like edge of the bed there, so it's facing the computer, and then I would put the slides there. But like that would be smart though. That would be so smart. I had never thought about that. Like I thought about like the whiteboard kind of like being separate, just depending on like the type of video that we're doing, if I wanted to like manually draw stuff out in real time. But like if we could have something like make a little stand for like a green screen, because I have a green sheet, like I used it, I like jerry-rigged it over top of my bed a while ago, and was it perfect? No, like not even close, but like it works. So if we could have something that was like smooth and evenly lit and nice, moi, dude. The slides would revive. Like because I had 3 presentations. I had made one. Well, it wasn't completed. I started one. It was related to an episode of Bob's Burgers that I had watched, and I thought it was so interesting. Zoochosis of society, possibly. And then someone had asked me how often I think about the Roman Empire a while ago, and it made me think of something related to the Roman Empire that really, well, the Roman Republic more specifically, that really fascinated me. Now all those bitches are just gone. Like I had recorded the one about the Roman Republic, but I wanted to redo it because I'm like, that wasn't really me. Like I was having a really off day, so now that like I don't have the slides, it's like, god damn it, like I could do it again. Don't get me wrong, I could do it again, but like it's just sucks. I don't know. Like I have a good feeling though about the account and about the channel, because I think like I'm hoping by like the end of the week, maybe like I'm hoping it's not too big of a pain in the ass, but like we'll see though. I'm keeping faith that everything will be back again next week. I fucking hope so. I hope so. Like we'll definitely see for sure, but given, let's say that we do get the main channel back, which like I'm hoping and praying, shitting, crying, throwing up, all the things. let's say we do in fact get the channel back. I had some thoughts for the second channel because I thought that there could be good opportunity to do some like goofy shit on there. Not that we can't do that on the main channel, because we most definitely can. Nothing is stopping us from doing that. But we tend to, it seems, we tend to have like bigger, I guess, conversations on the main channel, and maybe for Branny 2, like we could, like little like side tangents, and like not vlogs as in like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing on this specific day, whatever, but for like special things. I don't know. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that, because I have ideas for sure. Do you like Hanna-Barbera? I see you have a Tom and Jerry shirt on. I love old cartoons. I feel really stupid, I'm not gonna lie to you. Off of the very top of my head, I don't think I know who that is. Because, like, I recognize the name, but my brain, like, the synapses that are supposed to be firing together for me to recognize and put together who that person is are just not fucking working at the moment. But Tom, actually, it was December? I believe it was December. He had actually gotten me this sweater, because Tom and Jerry, and, like, I don't know. I have, like, a sentimental attachment to this sweater. Like Top Cat, Yogi Bear. I miss Yogi Bear. I miss Yogi Bear so much. The creators of the Flintstones and the... Oh! I don't know much about, like, Hanna-Barbera as a human, so, like, I can't really say enough to form an opinion, but, like, I like the Flintstones. I like Tom and Jerry. I like all that shit, if that counts for anything. And it's so funny that you had mentioned old cartoons, because me and Tom were actually having a conversation last night about old cartoons like Franklin and, hold on, what's it called? The whale, Oswald, not the whale, but the octopus, right? But we had found, there's this website that has like old cartoons and everything on it, and oh my god, whenever I nearly jumped out of my seat whenever I seen that they had Little Bear. Fucking love Little Bear. I actually mentioned Little Bear in the video where we were talking about Fruit Love Island, because it's the difference in cartoons, like back then, even whenever I was a kid, versus like the things that, you know, kids are watching now. Because kind of, I was watching a video of Casey Simpson's, and if you guys don't know who that is, he played in Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn, and kind of talked about how a lot of younger kids now aren't really watching, quote, like, plot-based media, and how kids' cartoons are essentially, like, obsolete anymore. And that makes me so sad. Yeah, because Little Bear, you know, bring back Little Bear and Franklin and, like, all of those cartoons that are, like, low stimulation. Because with Little Bear in particular, like, I remember whenever you would watch an episode, and there was obviously, like, the theme song, but other than that, like, there was rarely any music, there were moments of silence, and oh my god, it was so nice. Like, I could go on and on and on about that, because I have so many thoughts, like, even, and just, this is a hot take, so just let me cook for a second. Even SpongeBob, like, was kind of pushing it, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about old SpongeBob. Like, current SpongeBob, she don't count. Like, I haven't seen any, like, me and Tom maybe watched, like, 1 or 2 of the newer episodes, because I just wanted to see out of curiosity, but, like, she don't count. She's not canon. There was a weird switch in children's TV where it went from cartoons to live action as well. Very true. Very true. Because you gotta think, like, in that video of Casey's that I was watching, it was referring to, god damn it, I forget the name of the show. I'll have to bring it back. But it was a show from the 60s, right? It was a show from the 60s. And it was showing these kids' first day of high school. And kind of, but this is relevant. I promise this is relevant, and it's leading somewhere. Because the plot was, first day of high school, this kid goes, and he's like, you know, like, I'm really nervous to be here. I feel so adult. Right? Very calm and, like, cool and collected. And he walks in the hallway, and he sees this girl that he hasn't seen for a really long time. And she grew up. She grew up over the summer. And she had, like, said hello to him. And he said, oh, like, you look great. right? Like, all calm and casual and cool. Like, an actual human interaction. But then, he compared it to a show from, like, early 2000s where it was a similar kind of concept of, like, first day of high school, and it was the same thing. First day of high school, one person sees another person that they haven't seen in a really long time, glue up over the summer, and it was very dramatic of like, oh my god, wow, like, and just kind of the effort and like having to ramp things up, not just with like music and colors, but also like the stakes, right? Because it seems as though like we've had to make things a hell of a lot more dramatic whenever they don't have to be, just because like our attention spans, especially younger generations, and this is not their fault. I want to go ahead and preface this. This is not their fault. Like, it's just, they're so fried that, like, it's hard to keep their attention. And, like, it's something that I've wanted to talk about on the channel before, but, like, it sucks. You know? Like, I hate that it's reached this point. Montages will brainwash us all. Are you talking about, like, okay, look. You say montages. I hate, like, short form media. I knew that we were kind of cooked whenever Vine came out. I loved Vine. I hate that I did. I loved Vine just because it had some whimsy. But then whenever, like, that isn't to negate the fact that, like, short form content on Vine had negative consequences. Me liking it does not negate that, right? But whenever TikTok came out, I feel like where everybody started using TikTok, and granted, a lot of people used Vine. It did, but like, it's like something switched, right? And I can't really put my finger on it there. But I bring that up because you said montages will brainwash us all. And I just think of, you know, the long ass YouTube videos that would be 3 or 4 hours long that were Vine comps. And it's like, why can I sit? There was a point in time that I could sit and watch one of those, but sitting and watching a movie was incredibly difficult for me. So, like, I think that's kind of funny a little bit. Like, in my own personal experience, not in, like, the broader sense of the term. My favorite timeline of ever-growing stakes is the Fast and Furious series. That's so fair. That is so fair, honestly. I meant, like, how in movies they show montages of high school life, and you're like, what am I seeing right now? That's, okay, I get what you mean. I kind of misunderstood you a little bit, and I apologize for that, but, like, I get where you're coming from. The issue with short-form content is that it turned into the only content being consumed rather than something sprinkled in from time to time. Very fair. Very fair. Because whenever Vine came out, I believe, I might be wrong in this, but whenever I was watching Vine, it was mainly whenever I was between like 10 and 11, maybe 12, something like that. And I would go on Vine for maybe like, hold on. Goddamn, sorry. If I blew y'all's ears out, I apologize. However, like, I would go and watch Vine for like half an hour, maybe an hour, but then I would go play outside. You know, I would go play a video game. The Bolt game was one of my favorite ones at the time. Or, like, I would watch a movie, right? Like, but now as K1, as you said, like, where short form content is the majority of content that we're consuming, like TikTok, right? Because the amount of times I see someone say, oh, I was watching TikTok, right? Which, like, that's fine. Everything in moderation, you know, but whenever it gets to a point where that's like the majority of what we're consuming, something that I had to stop and kind of ask myself was, Bree, do you remember the last 5 TikToks you watched? And then when I realized most of the time when I asked myself, no, I don't, that's when I knew that, like, it wasn't really something that was benefiting me, you know? I feel like for movies, that's more of a time constraint thing to help move the plot along, showing key moments, and you're usually able to fill out the blanks yourself. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like most of the time, that's how it should be used. But something that kind of bothers me, and, like, it's appropriate in some contexts, don't get me wrong, but, like, time skips in series and in shows, because as I said, in some instances it's appropriate and it makes sense for the plot, but a lot of times it seems as though it's like a cop out of like, oh, people might not want to watch the build up to this, and like I hate that. Like, along with things like retention editing, and this is something I talked about a bit in the video of the podcast with VidPros, is I personally hate like the TikTok style retention editing, because like I'll use like the occasional text and like muted clip in picture, but I try not to make it every 6 seconds. And more than anything, it's kind of like whenever there would be an older person in my life that would be watching me play Minecraft and they're like, oh, that's making me dizzy. That kind of feeling is how I feel whenever I see that kind of editing. Like, more power to like, if people edit that way and they enjoy editing that way and they're doing that because that's what their brain likes and not because they feel that they have to, that's a wee bit different. But still, my dislike of it still remains nonetheless. Hold on, they're just planting things in your subconscious very quickly. You don't even... Okay, I get what you mean by that. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily like an intentional thing, but I really think that's an interesting thought train, though. And it shows they sometimes do time skips because of filming schedules and the actor getting older between seasons. See, like, that's what I mean. Like, in some cases it is appropriate, especially in situations like that. But when it bothers me is whenever, as I said, if they're like, oh, people won't like want to like pay attention to the buildup of this, or like, we don't think we can keep attention. Whenever we started optimizing for attention as opposed to quality, I think that's when things really oh my god, started going down the shitter. I'm so sorry, guys. My throat, dude. What the fuck? It feels like a lot of times whenever we stream, like I talk a lot to Tom, right? But otherwise I don't really talk a whole lot. So whenever we talk a lot here, it's like my throat goes like it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know what to do. Well, there's declassified documents that show how they're in charge of films. They even have their own film budget. That's something that, like, especially after I talked about Animal Farm, there were a lot of people that were mentioning that kind of thing to me. And that's something that, like, I want to look into that, because I always try, whenever we talk about things, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I try not to fall into conspiracy territory, because conspiracy culture, I feel, has kind of invaded on a lot of conversations and made them really difficult, if not impossible, to have. But I think there's a difference between like indulging in conspiracy culture and going down thought trains for funsies. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a thought train that I would like just love to go down sometime, even just in my personal time, Sounds like you gotta stream more to get your throat used to speaking more. Not for real, though. For real, though. Like, there was a point whenever, like, we would stream in the past, and, like, I would get pre-stream nausea, bro, because I was looking back at my old Twitter posts, because, as I said, I had to re-download Twitter for this whole, like, debacle that we got going on. And I got reminded because I was like, hey, guys... Any of you that stream, do you get pre-stream nausea? And granted, I think because at the time I was so focused on, like, how I was going to appear, like, if I had the type of stream that we've had today, like, I have loved it so much, but, like, with the technical difficulties and me coughing, like, if the me that I was then was doing that, I would be freaking the fuck out, right? So I think it was more of, like, an unnecessary worry thing, because, like, I'm just chilling as of the moment. Hold on, why not just use the website on I feel stupid. Hold on, website for what? I think I lost the plot. But that's okay. Twitter. Oh! Yeah, that's true. Honestly, just at that point in time, like, I was just so frantic and worried that I was like, oh my god, I have to re-download this, because I kind of low-key forgot that I could just get on it on the computer, and you know what, yeah, I think that might be a sign to just delete it off of my phone because I hated even being there. I use the Grandma browser as well for convenience. Yeah, the only reason that I have like Instagram downloaded is because it's so much easier to upload things whenever I have the app on my phone. But like things like Instagram, I don't scroll through Instagram Reels or anything like that. Like I solely use those medias to talk to y'all. And that's about it. The only thing that I will be bad for is like if I am on TikTok. I know I was just shitting on TikTok a minute ago, but if I'm on TikTok and I get like a compilation of edits or something, like especially Walking Dead edits, those always have me in a chokehold. Like I will watch those, but that's really the only like doom scrolling I do, because I try not to consume a lot of content, like, on my phone. If I watch anything, I try to watch it on the TV, and I typically don't watch TV if Tom is at home. The notifications are very annoying. Legit, the only things that I have notifications for, like, on for right now are Twitter. I just turned them on for my Gmail, and Discord. And I mean, obviously, like, texts and calls, but, like, that's it, because I feel like notifications and just, like, it breeds this constant sense of urgency, and I don't think that's good for anybody, especially whenever it comes to, like, screen time and things like phone and social media addiction, because whenever you, like, hear a ding, it's kind of like being Pavloved, right? Like, if you hear a ding, that means, oh, I got something on my phone. And then if we go into the territory of, like, hearing, like, the phantom notifications, like, I have so many thoughts. My God, sorry. I have so many thoughts whenever it comes to shit like that, because the psychology behind things like social media and why it's so addictive is something that I think is really interesting, but also, like, I don't think it's talked about enough. Or if it is talked about enough, I don't think those warnings are necessarily heeded enough, if that makes any sense. Ooh, okay. I just looked at the time. We got about 5-ish minutes before I got a jet. Because Tom, I always have to leave here around, like, 4:40. Ish. Not always, but most of the time. Because I've gotten into the routine of always taking him to work, and now that, like, I hate routines so much, but, like, now that I've formed that routine, it's like my brain craves it, even though I don't like routine. Yeah, so, like, just to keep myself and my brain happy, that's kind of the thing that we've really fallen into. But hopefully though, we'll be able to get the YouTube channel back. Hopefully I will hear from them this weekend. I don't know. Because whenever it comes to, like, the support people, I don't know if they're available on weekends or not. So, like, we'll see. We'll see for sure. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully tonight I'm going to be able to make some bread. Because I've been wanting to make bread for the last, like, 6 weeks. And just life has said, no, not today. Not today, but I'm hoping for more positive things, because yin and yang, whenever there's a bunch of ickiness, there's bound to be some awesomeness. At least, it's an eventuality, at the very least. Go make that bread. No, I mean, like, yeah, but I also mean, like, literal sandwich bread, because as I was saying in the Discord server earlier, like, I can't go back to store-bought bread. After I made homemade bread, like, I just can't do it. Like, it tastes real, and now every single time I eat, like, store-bought bread, like, I just can't. It makes me sad. It makes my heart upset, and I can't do it. Like, no hate to people who do eat store-bought bread, but, like, that's a personal preference. And, like, where I live, it's cheaper to make your own bread, which is something that's so nuts, in my opinion. Routine is good, but also annoying. Very much. It's like, I like the satisfaction of having routine, but it also makes me anxious at the same time, because if I plan to do something at, let's say, 12:45, and then I plan to do something else at 1, if it's 12:47, I'm freaking out. Like, it's basically the same time, but it hurts my brain so much, and I'm like, I just can't, I just can't do it for some reason. Like, and, I don't know, it's very, as I said, it's very anxiety provoking, and whenever I don't do it, like, perfectly on the dot, or even if I say, like, roundabout, I want to do something around 1, then I get really focused on, like, oh, what does around 1 mean? Which is goofy. Like, I can decide to do shit whenever I want to, but, like, that's just what really seems to happen for some reason. Oh, yeah, if I have an appointment in the afternoon, I can't do anything in the morning or I might get distracted and miss it. That's too real. That is too real. Like, I've had appointments, like, I always go and see Tom for lunch. Like, let's say round about noon, right? And like, I've had appointments at like 10:30 in the morning before, so I would have like a couple of hours, like, until I have to go to that appointment, and I have like, I'm like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do this until I gotta go to my appointment, but it's like my body says, nah, you gotta stay right here, fam. Like, you ain't going nowhere. Like, and it's not intentional either. That's the most like frustrating part of the whole thing. I have a theory on why this is happening to you, lol, but that's it for another time. It's always, hold on. Oh my god, I'm always good for a thought train. Listen, I love the thought trains. Thought trains are some of my favorite things. Even if it's something that's like really goofy, right? I think there can be a lot of like productive things that happen even out of goofy conversations, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've heard mixed things. Like, not every, and I know you know this, but not everyone's experience with things like ADHD is the exact same, but like, I've kind of recognized ways that it's affected me personally, and it wouldn't surprise me if that was a part of that at all. Thought trains are basically your whole channel. Yeah, exactly. Like, because I started like making these videos because I was like, look, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. Like, I was just really scared, as silly as this sounds, I was really scared to like say stuff that I was just thinking about, you know? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it, because like, if I'm thinking about it, somebody else has to be thinking about it. And that's kind of what really got y'all here. And I think that's cool. Like, because whenever you are yourself, like truly and authentically yourself, you attract the people that, you know, want to communicate with you for you. Like, it's time to go, oh shit, it is, isn't it? Oh my god, okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because I pert near forgot somehow, even though I literally said, hey guys, I gotta leave in about 5 minutes. There's a microphone right here. I could have literally did that with the microphone. I don't know why I did that. But anywho, thank you guys so much for stopping in and for staying and chatting with me despite the technical difficulties. And I just want to go ahead and say once again, the tangent of having to talk about having to go for another 20 minutes. Whole ass, though. Whole ass. But just one more time before I go, and I know I've said this a whole lot, but I want to say it again, especially just while I have you guys here. Throughout this whole bout of fuckery, I guess that I will call it, this whole bout of fuckery, I really appreciate you guys being so supportive and so helpful and understanding and kind, because as I said in the video on the second channel, like, I was really beating myself up over this, and like, I was really upset. I still am upset, but like, you know, I was just having a really bad time, and seeing how much, like, you guys have been supporting me and how kind you've been, like, it's really helped this stressful time not be as stressful, and I can't thank y'all enough for that. It means a lot, truly. And as I've my god, the universe said, nope, you're stopping talking. Anywho, as K1 said, I gotta stream more so my throat will get used to this. However, I will keep y'all updated on that. Thank you. That means a lot. I will keep y'all updated on everything, and hopefully hopefully this coming week I will record another video for the second channel. I don't really know what all I'm gonna do yet. So any suggestions that you guys have for things that you would like to see over there, or if you just want it to just be shit that like I would do, just me, you know, just holler and let me know. But I gotta go. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Y'all are awesome sauce. Stay cool, stay whimsical, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.